feel like in my pink power suit and at a desk for once, I kind of feel very in lecture mode. But I wanted to do a video because sometimes these things pop into my head, and today was the day it popped into my head. So I just wanted to do a quick video on the concept of setting the tone in your own life. So it's something that I'm working through at the moment, which is kind of like, if you feel this sense of dissatisfaction that your relationships or your work or your day-to-day is kind of just not working out in the way that you want it to, it's trying to remind yourself that you have autonomy and power over your life. You set the tone for the dynamics at work. You set the tone for the dynamics in your family, the dynamics in relationships, and you set the tone for what your routine looks like. I think for me personally at the moment, I have been struggling to try and make routine and try and find balance. And I think, like we all do, we kind of set this idea that things feel really overwhelming, and when you're tired on top of it, it becomes quite intense. But I have the power or the autonomy to change those things, and sometimes we need a reminder that if something isn't working or we're not seeing what we want, we have the power to change it. We have the power to kind of assert ourselves at work better if we want more respect out of that, or to establish a boundary at work, or we have the ability in our family relationships, romantic relationships, whatever it is, to kind of say, this isn't actually serving me, or I'm giving too much here, or sometimes you take advantage of my kindness and I'm not okay with it. You can set that tone, and then all the other stuff, like their reaction to that, you know, anything that work wants to say back to you, anything family or friends want to say back to you, then you have to learn to kind of detach from that. How they feel about what you've said isn't actually your problem. I've been learning this in therapy a little bit, that I invest in people's reactions to me at work and at home and with family, to the detriment of what I need out of a situation. And I think it's just a really good reminder that that's not your problem. If you need to tell someone, a work colleague, a family member, romantic partner, whatever it is, that you're unhappy with something, and you are worried that they're going to react badly, it shouldn't stop you from saying what you need to say, essentially. That's their problem. But you having a feeling about something, you establishing how you want or what you need from that situation, and them reacting badly, isn't because you've asked for too much. It's because they don't have the kind of capacity to give you what you want. And family can do this. Sometimes they kind of guilt trip you when you say things. Work can do it. Oh, sorry, we can't accommodate that right now. It is okay to say your piece. You're allowed to say your piece on a situation. And if anybody questions that and kind of makes you feel like you are exaggerating or you're being ridiculous for communicating how you feel, you need to remember that's not your problem, that's theirs. You've said what you needed to say. If someone doesn't want to treat that with respect, then that's on them. And I just thought it'd be a really good reminder to people that you don't actually have to carry guilt around for people's reactions to what you need, and you don't need to dumb down what you need to accommodate their reactions. You're perfectly entitled to express yourself, and you will find a workplace or a romantic partner or a family member that you feel safe enough with that will get that. Anybody that doesn't, that's fine. you have kind of got the data as such that you need from that situation. If it's at work, go and find somebody else to talk to. If it's family's quite complicated in that sense, but find somebody else in the family to talk about, try and discuss it with a friend, see if there's a way that you can work through it with a family member. If it's someone romantic, don't carry on investing, because if they're not listening to you now, they're not ever going to. So it's just a reminder that sometimes when you're a people pleaser like me, and there's a lot of us out there, you do tend to shrink down what you want to say because you don't want to hurt other people's feelings. But them reacting to what you're saying is directly hurting your feelings, and your feelings matter, and what you need from people matters. So don't shrink down that part of you to accommodate, because in the end you'll hurt more. You can't compromise on what you need in work, in love, in family, and be okay. It will slowly erode your energy. It will slowly take from you, and you'll just make yourself ill. That's why boundaries are so important. And the reality is, when you set boundaries, 90% of people will try and push them. And it's not necessarily because they're malicious, it's just they don't want to. And if you've had a history where you've allowed people to push boundaries, that's going to be a hard process. But it's a fundamental process. You can't keep living your life just bending your boundaries for other people, because you will never truly be happy doing that. And it's not fair to you. So honour your feelings and needs before anybody else's. If they can't meet you there, that's fine. They can leave. That's not your problem. You are your problem.